Hello and welcome to another video. For today, I'm gonna be talking about He's All That. Now, I'm really aware that I am super late to this party, but the truth is that I didn't think that it was going to be worth it to make a video about this movie because so many people were already talking about it and just like picking it apart left and right. So I didn't see why I should make another video just like that. And also I didn't feel like watching it, and I thought that I have already seen so many videos about it that I already knew everything that I needed to know. But I was still curious. So I watched it myself, and I need to say that yeah, it is a bad movie, but I really don't think it is as bad as everyone said. I believe that everyone blew this out of proportions just because it had Addison Rae on it. The thing is that this movie should have been a Disney original and not a teenage movie on Netflix. And I believe this because this movie had so many product placement that I am sure the production of this movie was practically tied down to not do anything that was remotely not family friendly. Let's have a look at all of the product placement that this movie had. I made a list. We had Pizza Hut, KFC, many cereals, Sun Chips, Core Water, Doritos, Old Navy, a bunch of beauty products that actually do exist, ADT security system, and feel welcome to tell me of another brand that maybe I missed when I was watching this movie, but these are the brands that I picked up. This production had to make a movie with a lot of restrictions, I guess. Big production houses looking for their best economic outcome is nothing new, and he sold that it's nothing but a business move. I never want to put down the effort of someone who wants to make a movie, and I am sure this take has been already made by someone, but this movie, He's All That, is the biggest marketing movie that I have seen in a long while. This movie has everything: popular faces, product placement, bad dialogue, nostalgia factor, the fantasy of living in a high school where none of this shit would actually happen in a real high school. You see, the first 15 minutes of any movie are very important. They will set the mood, set the tone of the movie, and will give you a hint of what's to come. It is the first impression, and that is very important. You can always use those 15 minutes to establish something and then subvert people's expectations on the rest of the film. You can do a lot with those short 15 minutes. And He's All That is not the exception. In the first 15 minutes, Addison Rae, or Paget, is an influencer, and she starts her day literally promoting products and whatnot. And this is what this movie is. It is a big advertisement for many products which used an incredibly famous influencer to sell the movie. Because I don't think no one asked too much of Addison Rae in this movie. Also, when I say this movie should have been a Disney original, I also say it because of the director of the movie. Mike Waters' new project is literally a Disney original called Magic Camp, which includes a lot of famous faces and Disney classic humor. Also, Mike Waters directed Freaky Friday and Mean Girls 2, and I can see why they thought that he would be the right guy for this movie. But in those two movies, I think the cast was already a very experienced cast. In both movies, you have Lindsay Lohan as the main protagonist of the movie, and since forever, she was always a great actress. And together with Lindsay Lohan, in one you have Amy McAdams as her co-protagonist, and in the other one you have Jamie Lee Curtis, who's also a great actress. And you see, I really don't want to diminish Mike Waters' work at all, but I truly think that he worked with some really good actresses before in his two most iconic movies. While in here, Addison Rae was a newcomer. This was her first big job, and it shows, and so probably he was used to the acting being a little cringy because he has worked in teenage movies, and that can come along with it. Because I don't think Addison really took many acting classes before this. I think that she just prepared for this role and thought that she could pull it off, and since she is Addison Rae and they knew that a lot of people would be watching because of her, they really didn't bother on asking too much of her. And as for Tanner, he has a lot more progression, but he probably also needed more pushing from a director. He was not as bad as Addison, but then again, the dialogue in the movie was very unnatural, so it was difficult to work with. Let's check the crew behind the movie because this can tell us a lot. Producers meddling with the artistic view of a movie, it's a tale as old as time, and it happens more than you can think of. As I was checking this movie, I saw that one of the producers is actually also producing the new Halloween trilogy, you know, Halloween, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. And then I also saw that the two other producers of this movie are also the producers behind the After movies. Yeah, the movies that are an adaptation about that Harry Styles fanfic, and I think probably already know about those movies, so I won't explain. But that made so much sense because these people are really master marketeers. So you have these producers who have worked in bad teenage movies that are actually selling. They managed to pull Addison Rae, this huge TikTok star, as the leading lady. They closed a lot of deals with brands to finance the movie. So what else can we do? Let's choose a nostalgic movie and try to make it kind of right. For this movie, they also brought Lee Fleming, the writer of the original movie. But since they probably had so many restrictions and product placement in the movie that they had to add, I truly believe that this man couldn't do a lot of what he wanted to do because I really don't think that it was on his plans to write and then this girl comes here and says,
"Hey, have some Pizza Hut here."
And I think if something shows is that Lee Fleming understands the teenager influencer life pretty on the surface. Because what happens here is like a caricature of an influencer in social media, which often happens in very young teenage movies. First of all, I don't know why she talks like an adult and was dressed like an adult. The second, the whole Bubble Girl deal, I think is one of the stupidest things ever. I do think that people all over the internet might have made memes and make fun of her and what happened, but she wouldn't have been cancelled to the point of losing her sponsors. Nowadays, influencer had gotten away with so much shit a lot more serious than having a snot bubble in a life, and they don't lose sponsorships, nor views, nor support. People are just making fun of her, not trying to cancel her. And if anything, this is not how cancel culture works. And also, just like the internet is cruel, it is also enormous. So there would be an army of people defending Addison, telling others to stop making fun of her because her boyfriend just cheated on her. I mean, it isn't unrealistic that Jordan, the asshole in this story, is actually doing good after what he did because, again, worse things have been done in the internet and people have come out untouched out of it, but Paget losing everything is super unrealistic. I understand they wanted to present a modern version of She's All That, but making it all about social media might have been a bad idea. They could have kept the plot around the cheating scandal, and Paget just wanted to get back at Jordan for his ego. It's a perfect plot. It worked on the first one, and it would have worked here too. So let's look at the logic here. Addison lost all of her sponsors because she got angry at her cheating boyfriend and she had a snot bubble and now she's a meme. So now she wants to make a guy prom king, something that only affects her school and people in it, so she can prove she still has her spark and get her public glory back. So she decided to change this guy and make him popular while she records all of it for everyone to see, because her sponsors care a lot if she wins prom queen next to a hot guy. Or maybe her followers will come back if they saw she's the prom queen of her own high school. Because in today's society, the best you can do is to win prom queen. They should have told all of these beauty influencers making apology videos that the only thing they had to do was win prom queen and give someone a makeover and they would be forgiven and they would recover all of their sponsors. That's why this movie feels dumb. Like, they really try to make Paget this big influencer, but at the same time they try to keep the whole high school set to make her feel more relatable and also to sell kids this illusion that high school can be this cool. But I actually do believe that Paget's followers and sponsors would have been more impressed if she just had gotten with someone more famous and popular than Jordan. That would have worked better. Again, they could have added this whole social media thing into the movie without making them all famous influencers. Now, sadly, the dialogue wasn't the only bad thing about this movie. The romance in this movie was pretty mild. And again, I think that because they had so many product placements behind them, they couldn't add anything that was not family friendly, and that is just like a little bit more like tension between the characters, because I do believe that these two were like, well, I mean, we're both beautiful and attractive and we have like kind of nice personalities, so we should kind of fall in love. That's how it felt for me. So let's go back to the movie. They added this party scene just so Addison could do her TikTok thing, and of course so Cameron can see how charming she is, and they have this moment together where they kind of connect. But if I get super picky, Paget is singing a super ultra pop song. Why would Cameron like that? Cameron has been presented like the antithesis of Paget. He hates technology and everything that is popular. Why would he know the words to Teenage Dream by Katy Perry? I think that in structure, a moment like this should be further into the movie where Cameron is more charmed with Paget and he's starting to step out of his outcast role and she's like super endearing or something to him. Also, if they have shared a moment with a popular song where he kind of admitted that it was good against his will or something cute like that, and then she's singing that song in front of everyone and the moment starts to get ruined, then Cameron intervening would have been amazing. Can you imagine that? It would have been a good romantic moment. Because by the time the karaoke scene happens in the movie, they have only met at the stable once. And even the best friend of Cameron threatens Paget to not hurt Cameron, and nothing has happened. He was just staring at her. In this movie, you are also trying to present opposites attract, which demands more work with the couple. So I would think that it will take more than Paget spinning her arm to Teenage Dream in a bikini to charm this guy who doesn't like anything that she is. But I guess something big had to happen because in the next scene, Paget goes looking for Cameron and he agrees to take her horse riding and they start talking about their feelings and getting to know each other. And I really wonder where the budget went because aside from all the green screens this movie has, these two are horse riding, but they move for 2 seconds before they stop and just stand there on their horses talking so the camera doesn't have to move with them. Then we have a fun montage for the makeover. Okay, in the teenage movie list, that's a check. And this is what was ridiculous from the start. Cameron was already a handsome guy. I don't know why he's a revelation with short hair. I guess they kept the logic from the first one, like take off the glasses off of the nerdy girl and she's hot now. But what's also funny is that Cameron is the stereotype of the bad boy from the 90s, who usually was the attractive one. At the Gatsby party, Jordan then tries to make Paget go back with him because if they win king and queen at prom, they would gain a lot of followers, and I'm here like, why? Why would millions of people around the world care if these two are prom royalty? Am I missing something? And well, after the party, Cameron and Paget kiss, and right after that he finds out about the bed and leaves her. Why? Well, because the plot points demanded it. Then we have this thing with a dance team that we never saw. It was literally mentioned twice. And apparently this whole dance group was important because they are having a dance-off at the end of the movie, but we never saw Paget dancing, or going to practice, or why it would be a big deal if the evil friend moved to Jordan's dance team. Then the prom queen is the goth girl against the system that appeared once for 10 seconds. At the end, Paget does this public apology about being her true self and Cameron comes in on a motherfucking horse and then they become traveler bloggers, and that's basically the movie. So this movie is very dumb because the whole logic behind the conflict is very weird. Then you have all of these details that were never properly attended and the acting is really bad. Like, this movie was nothing but for them to sell products and for you to watch, and they succeeded because everyone watched this movie just because everyone wanted to see Addison Rae failed, and you know, she delivered on that promise. And while that is true, I don't believe this movie is hot garbage. I just think this movie is for a 12-year-old girl who is about to go into high school and she wants also to be an influencer, so this movie just paints like the perfect scenario in her mind to have like epic high school moments. Nowadays, all of us are just making fun of how cringy Camp Rock was, when back in the day, like that movie blew our minds and we were just obsessed with it, to the point that Camp Rock was played almost every single day in Disney Channel. That's my opinion on He's All That. It's just whatever, I guess. And that was the video for today. If there's any other movie that you think I should watch, please let me know. And please remember to follow me on my other socials. I'm basically everywhere. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. I'm also on Twitch where I stream every Wednesday and Fridays. And with that said, have a wonderful day, friends. Thanks for watching.